season brings with it a sense of change, a newness, new hopes, new experiences to look forward to. What do you think? Have you been stuck in a rut, or are you excited for fall? Are you looking forward to making some changes in your life by the end of the year? I honestly believe that we humans thrive on change, so no wonder every time there is a changing season, whether we are moving from spring to summer or summer to fall, we naturally feel more motivated and driven to reset and review our goals, switch up our routines, and review our life, relationships, like just everything in general. So today I want to take you through everything I'm doing to level up and take control of my life this fall. And I sincerely hope that this video will help you make positive shifts in your own life and feel better and do better. And if that's something you are interested in, keep watching. So I'm not big on sharing sob stories on my channel, but I do know they serve a purpose sometimes. And just to give you a context of where I'm coming from at this point in my life, I want to share that unfortunately my mom was diagnosed with early stage cancer this year, and a large part of the year was all about frequent hospital trips and just taking care of her, and meanwhile trying to take care of my mental and emotional health and all of that stuff. So now, with the grace of God, she is doing fine, she is doing great, and I am excited to get back into my own routine, take control of my life, and just reset my goals and actually hit them, actually accomplish them before the end of the year. I finally now have a chance to get back into a normal routine and just go all in with my goals and all the things that I want to do for myself. Going through these last 4 5 months, I've struggled a lot with overwhelm and anxiety and just trying to keep up with things. And I have realized that as we grow older, there is so much that we want to do. Like, there are things we want to do for self-care, there are things we want to do in our business, projects, goals, career, and all that stuff. There are things that we want to do for our family, for our loved ones, and we have to take care of our relationship. And there's something that we want to learn, and the everyday tasks like buying groceries and stuff and all those things. So there's so much that we want to do, there's so much that we need to do. And on top of that, if we are not headed towards goals that are meaningful to us, life can get very boring, we can get frustrated, we can get irritated, and we have this feeling of I just don't know where my life is going, right? So I know this stuff, I have went through this multiple times due to multiple reasons, and I think that's how we grow and evolve. So no judgment if you have been through some stuff, if you have been feeling like you have been stuck in a rut, I got you. Okay, so I have got my notes here because I want to keep the video short, and I have this tendency to go off the tangent. So I'm going to share my simple 4-step plan that anyone can use to get out of a slump or just get your ish together no matter what you are dealing with right now. Are you ready? Listen. If you watch a video, especially when you are expecting to learn something out of that video, make sure you take notes and you review them and you try to take action on them. And when something works or when something doesn't work, you brainstorm, you find your way, you find your own secret sauce of doing things. Okay, I hope you get the point. So let's not waste any time and get started. So the first thing is to prep and plan, because if you want to switch up your routines, review your goals and all that stuff, all that jazz, and trust me, the feeling of resetting, reviewing, and kind of like doing things all over again, you get that little hits of dopamine, like you're about to do something, but that alone will not help. You need to take some real action, and you can only take real meaningful action when you have some preparation, when you have an action plan you can follow and get the results that you want. Okay, so after a lot of experimentation and trial and error with all sorts of routines, rituals, planning processes, and all that stuff, there's something that I was struggling for a long time, and that was getting clear on what my priorities are. And I feel and I believe that this is the number one problem with anyone who is struggling to create a structure in their lives, or just trying to do all the things, or someone who is struggling with overwhelm, anxiety all the time. So what I'm going to do first thing is to clear my head and have an objective view of all the things I want to do and all the things I need to do, because both of them are super important. So the categories that I have used for myself, I feel will apply to almost everyone, and you can come up with your own categorization. But I'm telling you this, that this is from real life experience. I have seen, I have observed all the things that I'm doing daily or I'm wanting to do every now and then, and I just get bogged down by overwhelm, and I don't want to do overwhelm anymore. Okay, and I know, yes, there will be moments, there will be days where things will not go as planned. That's perfectly okay, but for the most part, I want to be very present in the moment. I want to be very clear in my head with what I'm doing, what I'm supposed to do. Okay, so I'm going to share these categories with you, and you can treat this as a baseline. And once you have this practice of setting your priorities, when you have a clear picture of what your life looks like and how these categories fit in your life, you can just play around with them. So everything I want to and need to do broadly comes under these 7 categories. Number 1 for me is spiritual practices. Okay, so you might think like what, like number 1 category spiritual practices? Yes, and I'll talk about this in some later video, all the things I want to do, whether it's my prayer, affirmation, chanting, going to temple, gurudwara, wherever I want to go. That is super important for me, and I feel each person on this planet, you don't need to be religious, but you need to have some sort of spiritual anchor. Okay, and if you don't believe that, I'm sorry, we cannot be friends. Okay, and number 2 is personal time. When I say personal time, I don't mean scrolling on Instagram, watching reels, watching YouTube, like just random videos and stuff. No, when I say personal time, it's things like things you want to do for yourself, self growth, learning, taking care of yourself, going on maybe solo dates, just spending time with yourself. Number 3 is big goals. So here I will list all the things I want to do, whether it's related to my business, my work goals, and all that stuff. So you can have here whatever you want. And next is fitness and health. You cannot do anything if you are not in a good shape, like mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. So your fitness is important. Again, you can have anything you want in this category. And then is personal errands. Okay, now this really is important. There are things we want to do for ourselves, like buying groceries, or just like I have to buy a new watch and that kind of stuff. I want to arrange my fall wardrobe and all that stuff. So it could be things that are like chores maybe, but it's related to you, not your family, just you. And I'm saying again, this is coming from experience. Make sure you separate what you need to do for yourself and what you need to do for your family, whether you have kids, whether you have a spouse or parents or whoever you are living with or share your life with. I'm telling you, this is going to help you a lot with the prioritization stuff. And the next category is household chores. So here we can talk about all the things you need to do for your home, other family members, whosoever you are living with, if you have kids, and all of that stuff can be put in this particular category. Next is, again, it's a broad category. So this is your events and social life, like your appointments, or you want to go out with your friends, family, date nights, and all of that stuff. So the idea here is to clear your head and get an objective view of your priorities, the categories, and all the things that you need to do under each category. Okay, and you can have an overview of a month or 2 months. So once we are done with step 1, where we do all the prep and plan, we move to step 2, that is feeling good and confident. And you might be like, oh, what do you mean by that? So I know that if you want to get stuff done, okay, whatever that is, sometimes these circumstances, or we can say like most times, the circumstances are not ideal, and often we have to push through challenges and stuff, find our workarounds through difficult situations and all of those things. But if we are mentally and emotionally centered within ourselves, if we feel confident within ourselves, that does not mean that we don't have fear, but we are like grounded, okay? We are emotionally stable. We are not just reactive and just like super explosive when something happens. If we are balanced within, mentally and emotionally, if we are confident within, if we have a good self-esteem, if we feel good about ourselves, in our body, and like just overall in our lives, no matter where we want to reach or the goals that we want to hit, if we feel confident in where we are at and where we are going, no matter what challenges come up, we can do better. We can push through like all the challenges, and we can find solutions. We can troubleshoot. We can do little things to make sure that our mind is in a peaceful state, it is balanced, our emotions are addressed, and all that stuff. I believe in this so much. If you feel better, you do better. Like, yes, you cannot go with how you're feeling. When you have to get something done, you have to get something done, okay? But as I said, if you are feeling good, chances are, if there are challenges, if there are problems, you have the capacity to push through. You, somebody wrongs you, if something happens, you respond rather than just reacting to the situation or a person, okay? So 5 things that help me feel good and confident, tried and tested. Number one, starting my day early as possible. And yes, as I said, I have been through a lot last few months, and it has not been an easy journey, and I have not been waking up super early. And the days I did wake up early, I was tending to my family and that kind of stuff. So I was hardly getting any time for myself. But I know things are better, so I can do it now. So number one is starting my day early. So you don't have to wake up at 5 a.m., 4 a.m., but I would say whatever time you start your day, just try getting up a little bit earlier, an hour earlier, two, like totally depends on you, but that helps me, and I'm sure that will help anybody, okay? We are not debating on this. Number two is moving my body. And when I say moving my body, it's like 2 ways. Number one, of course, getting a workout done, which can be done like 3 times a week, 4 times a week, 5 times a week, like whatever works for you. But also making sure that I am moving enough throughout the day. So I have been very particular with the steps that I get in every single day. So I am averaging like around 6 to 7K, and you don't have to do 10,000 steps, but like 5,000 steps, I think it's a bare minimum, because as humans, we are not supposed to be sedentary, okay? So if you're already doing 5K, amp up to 6 or 7 or 8. So anywhere between 6 to 8 is a good number in my opinion, but at least 5K, okay? And number three is getting dressed, okay? So whether you are working from home, whether you are a stay-at-home mom, or like whatever, if you're a student, you need to get up, shower, put some sort of face on, like get dressed up a little bit, like whatever you feel comfortable in. Just put in some effort to feel and look put together, and it does create a difference. Believe me or not, try it for yourself and feel the difference. So for me, huge difference. And the next thing that I like to do is getting out in sun, getting out in nature. Like, do we even need to say this? I think yes, we do, because most of us spend a lot of time indoors. So try and make some time to go outside, have a walk, or just breathe for a few minutes and just enjoy the nature. Just look at the trees, look at the sky, look at the sun. Last and the most important thing that helps me feel good, helps me feel confident, following my plan for the day. We have not discussed how to create a plan, but we have in step one discussed, like, if you are clear on what your priorities are, everything that you want to do, everything that you need to do, of course you will be making a plan, and of course I will be making a video on that. But I'm sure you do know how to create a basic plan, right? Be honest with yourself with how much you can get done in a day, how much time you actually have, what obligations do you have, okay? Try and follow your plan, and that's what I like to do. Try and follow my plan for the most part, okay? Because that instills a confidence in yourself. It motivates you, it encourages you, it makes you feel accomplished, and all this good thing. Now let's move to step three, which is taking actions. I'm sure you have watched a number of videos like this and better than this even, right? But are you taking action? That's the key. And even what I discussed in step 1 and step 2, even for all those things, for you to list down your priorities, all the things that you need to do to feel good and confident, you will need to take action. But here in this step, when I say taking action, I'm talking about checking off those tasks, meaningful tasks, or you can say needle movers, things that move you forward towards your goal. So if you can each day, or at least 5 days a week, if you can check off at least one task every single day that takes you forward towards your goals, you are going to make progress. I'm sure you are going to be a different person when you enter 2025. Just do it for a couple of months and see the difference. Let's not forget, we were talking about resetting our lives, or just trying to wrap up this year on a better note. And you cannot feel good, you cannot feel accomplished, you cannot feel confident within yourself if you are not taking action towards what's meaningful to you, what's important to you. We humans need goals, okay? Whatever those goals are, your goals can be anything that you want, anything that is important to you, anything that is meaningful to you. But you should have some sort of purpose, some sort of meaning to your life, and you should be actively working towards those, okay? And different seasons, we have different goals, so don't judge yourself or anybody else for that matter. So again, I will be making a separate video on how to plan and how to take action of that stuff. But the idea here for this reset, if you're doing along with me, is all the categories that you have listed in step 1, all you're going to do is every single day, you are going to pick at least 3 to 5 categories, and you are going to do at least 1 to 3 tasks in each of those categories. Sound simple or not? I'm sure you will get a hang of it once you give it a try, okay? Just make sure that you are taking a few minutes out of your day to list what you need to do tomorrow. That will help you avoid decision fatigue, and if you don't already know about it, look into it. Decision fatigue is real. It is what leads to anxiety, overwhelm, procrastination, all of those things. So step 3 is all about taking action, doing all the things that you want to do and need to do one day at a time. Now let's move to step number 4, which is all about tracking and reflection. So if you have taken steps by now, you have taken action, you have listed your priorities, maybe you have checked off some tasks off your list and all those things, you need to track where you are at every single week, okay? Again, as I said, I've been through a lot, so I have missed doing all of these things. See, when we are overwhelmed, there is so much on our plate, there's so much that we want to do, need to do, and all that stuff. The last thing probably we want to do is to sit with ourselves, our thoughts, and do some reflection. Like, we don't want to ask ourselves difficult questions, we don't want to look at what we have done through the week. Like, I get you. I don't know about you, but this happens to me. So as I said, I have been off track for quite a while, and I want to get back on track, and that's why I'm going to make this a priority, that every week I'm going to ask certain set of questions to myself to see like where I have been, what I have been doing right, where do I need to make changes, and all those things. So I have kind of hacked my own brain. I have observed, brainstormed what stops me and like how my mind works. So I have listed 7 questions that I'm going to share with you. So you can start with these, and again, you can look into more questions and journal prompts, weekly journal prompts, but I feel these 7 are like everyone can use this, and it's based on everything that I'm trying to do through this reset. And also, do remember, a reset does not happen overnight. Yes, sometimes you can do little resets of all kinds in a day or 2 or 3, but if you have been off track for a while, or if you have been stuck in a rut for a while, be gentle with yourself, give yourself some time and grace, but be honest with yourself. Through reflection and journaling, you can actually positively assess where you are at. So question number 1, did I stick to my plan for the most part? If not, why? What stopped me? How can I make sure I do better next week? wasn't my control. Maybe you overschedule, maybe you struggle with saying no, maybe you feel exhausted, maybe there was a family emergency, like maybe you could not just optimize time. And if you have struggled with structuring your day, optimizing your time, it can take a while. It can take some practice, some experimentation. So again, be gentle with yourself, but do assess, do a positive assessment, do ask some questions to yourself so that you can have an objective view of where you are at and what you should be doing. The second question, did I learn something this week? So it could be a skill, it could be a personal lesson, it could be an experience. Number three, did I check off some goal-based needle movers this week? Okay, because meditation alone won't help you. Just exercising, spending time in nature is not going to help you. Okay, we need to do all of that stuff, don't get me wrong, we need to do all of that stuff, but if we are not taking action towards things that are meaningful to us, we are going to feel all types of way. You don't want to feel that feeling. Next, what stressed me wasn't my control. What can I do on my part? Not thinking about others, and no, what can I do on my part to avoid it in the upcoming week? Yes, certain things you can avoid, but what can you do on your part? That's the thing. Now, next, what brought me joy? What I'm grateful for? Did I make time to connect with God and my spiritual team? As I said, each one of us needs a spiritual anchor in our life. Whoever you believe in, whatever your spiritual practices are, we need a spiritual anchor, because trust me, we are more than just flesh and bones and monkey mind. Okay, we are much more than that. The next question is, did I take care of my nutrition, sleep, and movement? What do I need to do more of? What do I need to do less of? Last question, very important again, did I pour love and attention into my relationships? And it can be all type of relationships. We are humans. We thrive in a community, in relationships. Okay, we need to have love and people around us. So whether friends, family, spouse, partner, whosoever. So you do need to ask this question to yourself and do some brainstorming and see what comes up. So that's all for the fall reset video, and let me know if it worked for you, and actually take action. Okay, actually take action, like replay it, save it, make notes, ask question in the comments. Okay, you can hit me up on IG and have a chat. If you try some of these things, what works for you, what doesn't work, I am all ears. I want to listen, because if it's not helping anyone, like what's the point? Okay, so I will be making more videos on how to live a life that you truly love and just how to make your life better. And let me know in the comments down below what videos you would like to see more of, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.